Hi guys, my name is Zola.
Kelvin.
And this is me on ratnnark.
Ratn'nark.
And today I'm going to be exposing myself.
And this is one of my, kind of an embarrassing moment. It's kind of a confession too.
My embarrassing story is this.
In SS1, the exam would determine, which class you would go and, to which side. If you're a science student, to either A or B, and that was like a very serious exam. And it would also determine people that would go, like in every school then, every missionary school then, there was this conference at some point where they would choose 10 people, depending on that same exam, to go for a week conference where every other boarding school would come. It was a boarding school, only boys boarding school, but at the conference, every other school, like every other boarding school, females would be present. So it was like a very important thing at that time. And like it was annually, so we had something like that from the past set. So, during the exam, or during the period of the exam, I had a clique of 2 friends who were 3, and we didn't want to risk it. And at that point, being in a boarding school, we only got visited once in a term, and like we weren't allowed to leave. So like we took our chances at every, opposite sex appointment we got. We wanted to go to that conference, not really about the grades and that we just wanted to go to that 1 week conference. So something happened, we figured out a way. We walked to one of the female couples, like youth couples there in school, and she helped us deceive the principal secretary because the question papers were left in the principal's office. So we knew the time the principal used to leave for lunch and that. So we walked with one of the couples, youth couples, and she deceived the secretary, and the secretary left. So we had made a replica of the principal's key before then, the 3 of us. So like we got info that the question papers were brought to this school in the principal's office a day before. So we made our way a day before in the night, in the evening, and got the papers. Like we didn't literally take the paper, we took pictures of the question papers and went back to the dorm, and like we stayed up all night, just the 3 of us studying. And then something happened, like I told my friends, like, because the questions were much, I told them that we should write out the questions and answers and keep them somewhere, where we can rely on if we don't have to rely on our heads and that. But they said, nah, that we're gonna get caught. So long story short, we read the whole thing together, but I wrote all the questions down myself and wrote all the answers down and left it in a toilet close to the classroom. As we were writing the exam, like I left with an extra answer sheet and I copied everything. I gave myself 100, and then when I came back, I just literally canceled the couple, like, because we had a whole lot of intelligent students then. So like I literally gave myself 97 because I canceled out 3. So, in essence, what happened was we went to the conference, the 3 of us made it to the committee out of the 10 people that went to the conference. We went, had fun and all of that. And then after the school has resumed for the next term, like when we came back, we were all boasting and that. So like the next term, it happened that, after then, somebody saw the exam sheet, the extra exam sheet I left with to the toilet to change it with the one I had. So like they reported it, and I don't know how it happened, but like I was caught. Like they came questioned me and that, and they flogged me 48 strokes of cane in front of the whole school.
So basically I was 14 or 15 and Instagram was still new then, and then my best friend's sister was in uni, and whenever she comes home, she dresses us up and takes pictures for us and all of that. And she had about 30k to 50k followers on Instagram. I'm not sure what the number was exactly. And then we used to take pictures, and I was 15 and my best friend was 18. She was 2 years older than I was. I was 15 and she was 18, and then we take pictures and we look older than our age. And then, so I had about 2K followers and my best friend about 7K followers, which was a big deal then because Instagram influencing was not really a thing then. So there was this guy that slid into my DM, and then we started talking, and he asked how old was I, and I told him I was 18. I was 15, guys. So I told him I was 18, and then I was still in high school. I think I was in SS2. Yeah, I was in SS2, and I had school tomorrow and all that. Like we were talking, and it was like, oh, we should link up and all of that. And obviously, I couldn't tell him that I can't link up because to him, I already graduated high school. And it was 21, so it was like, we should link up. I was staying in the corridor and I was staying in Lekki. And I was thinking, so how am I going to link up with this guy? Because obviously I cannot tell my friends, the driver take me to school and nobody's going to take me out, and I've never been on public transport before, so I didn't know how to go about it. So I told my best friend, she was older than me, she was 18, and she was always going out. So I told her, she was like, okay, fine, we're going to go link up with this guy. I told him that, okay, fine, I'm going to come. Obviously I couldn't tell him that, okay, I have school tomorrow, but I told him that, okay, I'm going to link up with you. So I told my best friend, and we decided to go. We had school the next day. I told my mom, okay, my dad was out of the country, and then I couldn't tell my mom that I was going out. So I told her that after school we had a project to do. And normally when we have projects to do, I'm going to be home like 7 and all of that. So she didn't really question me because they believe I cannot lie and they trust me at all. So I told her I was going to go, I had projects and all of that. She was like, okay, fine. And she already left the house before it was time for me to leave. So my best friend came over to my place and we dressed up. We literally looked like adults. We dressed up and we went. I already calculated time that, okay, we're going to leave this place at 4 p.m. And then I didn't know how rush hour worked and traffic and all that worked. So I was like, we're going to leave my house at 4 p.m. And we're going to leave the guy's place at 4 p.m. And then we're going to be home by like 7, the normal time I'll be home if I had a project to do. So I linked up with the guy. We linked up with the guy. We went out. We had fun. We went to house. We went to other places. And it was like, oh, he asked me, it was like, 18, right? I was like, yeah, I'm 18. I was 15, and it was like, oh, your best friend is 18. No, sorry, your best friend is, oh my God. He said she's 21 because she was 3 years older than me, and I lied all this. I was like, yes. I was like, oh, you guys look like, you guys have baby faces. And in my head, I'm like, baby, we're actually babies, but we move. So I didn't tell him that. He doesn't know our actual age, so we linked up, and I went back home. So it was time for us to go home. We went home, and then the traffic was mad. Both our phones were dead, and then our parents couldn't get to us. They couldn't get to us, and we didn't know that our parents were already calling the school to ask what's popping, like what's going on, like the kids are not home because it was like 11 p.m. now. We're not home because of the traffic. So I got home, my mom was already sleeping because my mom and I were not on good terms, so she didn't really question me. So when I got home, after I got through the gate and then the house door was locked, I had to open the window, and then I was stoning my brother because my brother sleeps like a dead person. So I had to keep stoning because I couldn't shout. I had to keep stoning him to open the door for me. And then I eventually woke up, and then I got in. My best friend's parents are way stricter than my parents, so they asked her questions and all of that. So she didn't tell me this part that she bruised herself, she cut her sandals and all of that, and then she lied to her parents that on our way to school we were kidnapped. So she already sent me a text, and I already saw the text. So when her parents called me and they were asking me, her parents couldn't ask my parent because they're not on good terms. That dad doesn't really like my dad, so they couldn't talk to each other. That both their kids were missing, so they were being, somebody was too big to talk to the other person. So it was just what I told my best friend parent they had to listen to. So she already texted me. I was already crying that yes, we got kidnapped and all that bullshit. And up to today, they didn't know that we were never kidnapped. She actually bruised herself, she injured herself, she cut her sandals, and I had to back up the lie, and my parents never knew that. I went out, and till today, they never knew that I actually used public transport, or the guy doesn't know that I was actually 15 and I lied I was 18. And this is me exposing myself, so.
I was about 4.5 years old. I remember this clear as day. I used to love watching this particular cartoon called Angle and Elsfit. This is a German cartoon, German or Russian cartoon, I can't remember, it's really old. It was about Loch Ness monsters. So on this particular day, I came into the living room, I was trying to, normally I'll just take my thing, slot it into the VHS tape player, and I'll watch my tapes. I'll be happy with myself, rewind it, take it out, and go and play. So on this very nice day, I came into our small living room in our house. My stepmom and her friends were sitting behind us. And I went to my VHS tape case, normally like I would do every single day. And I opened the case. Now, my tape is normally blue, but today it was black. What did I do? Took it, plugged it in. And then it wasn't all the way to the back, so I just took it all the way to the back. Everyone took all the way to the back, and then I was like, okay, no problem. Then I pressed play, and it wasn't a cartoon. What I saw was a man walking behind a bush, a hedge, I said, I remember clear as day, I was walking around beside a hedge, majestically, full form, chest high, feeling fine and everything. And then after a little bit, I kept on trying to wonder exactly what was going on. And the volume was low, so I couldn't hear anything. After a couple of minutes, I now saw the man peeing in the woman. Then I turned around to my stepmom, and my mom at that particular point, now walked into the room. And I went, oh, I was going to ask my stepmom. I went, Mommy, why is this man peeing in the woman? Then my mom now went, what the hell is this boy talking about? She now turned, and well, she saw them peeing in each other, or someone was peeing in the other person. And she freaked out, immediately dove down to the thing and ejected the tape, switched off the TV and told me to go and play. I now left, but I was at the window because I was still listening. I was trying to understand what had happened. And my stepmom started laughing. Her friends started rolling on the floor. It's like, doesn't understand what happened. So a couple years later, my mom was telling me the story. And she was like, what had happened was one of my uncles came to visit the previous, that weekend. So he got in one of my tapes and he went to his friend's house and recorded one of his tapes, which was unfortunately an adult-rated movie. So he then brought the tape to our house to watch it. So when he was watching it, he then forgot it. And when the maid was cleaning up, she then mixed up the tapes. She didn't know exactly what was going where because she didn't really care. So anyway, that is my embarrassing story. I tell it whenever I'm at dinner parties or wherever, just to get a laugh. Hope you laughed.
Yeah.
Begin from top.
No, I just left it on, honestly. I just had it at the background.
Okay.
This is my first date with this man, and he's telling me, lay low for 24 hours. Who? 24 hours with who? Where? So I'm running behind him like, oh my God, what's happening? And the next thing, as we're running, I just hear, poof, 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 on a Sunday afternoon. We need to get out of here now. Once they ordered a bottle, shit went downhill. That bottle turned the whole day around. Now these guys are after me.